Here now with a six-time Connecticut Sportscaster of the Year, our friend Scott Gray. I understand you played golf. We're here in November. I understand you got one last good round in. Finally.
Well, I hope it's not the last one, but it was the most consistent round I've ever had with my irons. Standing on the fairway, watching those iron shots track the green. Oh,
happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it does. All the time.
Yeah, okay.
So you finally got it right.
I finally got it right. The way you taught me.
Let's talk about the UConn men. We had your buddy John Altavilla on.
Yep.
You were eating his sushi back in the green room. 6 freshmen Scott grayed out. That's got to put a coach like Jim Calhoun, give him some agita, right?
Well, you know, there's good and bad to that.
What's good about 6 freshmen?
Well, the fact that at least they know who's going to have to lead them. Because this team's going to go as far as really, I mean, I think the real key players, the guys that are going to lead this team, are obviously at point guard, Kemba Walker and up front,
Alex
Oriaki.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's no question that Kemba Walker is going to be the leader. And he's maybe, you know, he's one of the top 5 point guards in the country. He's right up there. And the beautiful thing about him is, in the past, last year, he really had a tendency to get way ahead of himself. He'd play too fast for the game. He'd leave the ball halfway down court sometimes. Mm-hmm. This year, he's well within himself. You can see it already. We've already seen him 3 times, and he's playing within himself. He's much more under control, and he has accepted that leadership role. He's getting tired of being asked, are you ready? Do you feel that pressure of being the leader? Are you ready to be the leader? Don't ask him anymore. He's ready. And
he has no choice, though, right? He has no choice with 6 freshmen.
He has no choice. He's only a junior. It's kind of a difficult situation when a junior is your team leader. But because there are 6 freshmen, they know that they've got to be followers. That's going to help Kemba Walker as far as being a leader. Alex Oriaki is
big kid. You like him?
I've always liked him. You know I've always liked him. Him and Jamal Coombs McDaniel. Liked them both. And I think Coombs McDaniel is going to make some major strides this year as well. But already, Oriaki looks bigger. He looks stronger. He's fierce off the boards. And he's really, you know, that's going to be a key position because center is going to be a fluctuating thing. You know, 2 of the
there are no centers, really, right? They have Olander, the big kid, but they're not really true centers, right?
Well, Tyler Olander, he is a classic example of what the freshman class is going to be about. Shabazz Napier, another example. They're playing at one level. They show that they've got things to learn, and they're playing at one level. You know, when you're playing Vermont, when you're playing Bridgeport, you know, you're playing at one level. The next level is yet to come. Mm-hmm. That's the Big East. Napier, for example, he shows that he can hit the 3. He can get the ball. He can get the position. He can hit the 3. But he's being guarded, but he still gets that open shot. When he gets into the Big East, they're going to be on him a lot quicker. He's going to have to learn to get that shot off faster. This is what you see when you see freshmen. And this is a classic example of what the freshman class is going to have to do.
You know, Al McGuire, the former great coach at Marquette, said the great thing about a freshman is what? They become sophomores.
They become sophomores, right.
So you got a whole year of learning curve here, right? They give you they're up, they're down. You got to wait till next year with freshmen.
Well, you can get some games that make them sophomores earlier because you're going to be playing so many freshmen. They're going to be in some big games. There are very few not big games in the Big East, so they're going to get tried early. They don't play a road game until a real road game. Of course, now they're off to Hawaii for the tournament, Wichita State, and then they'll see who they play after that. Mm-hmm. That's neutral court unless they happen to draw Chaminade, but that's pretty much neutral court. They don't play an actual road game until they get to the Big East schedule. Maybe to a certain degree.
Sweeteners?
A couple of sweeteners, but it's going to help the freshmen. Yeah. And then when they get into the Big East, they're going to start playing some games that are going to make them sophomores early. So this could be a team that maybe we see it come together. Maybe we see them sneak into a tournament bid, and if they do, you've got 6 freshmen who could be sophomores come tournament time.
Coach Calhoun always at his best, but his back's to the wall when people don't have a high expectation, right? When they think he's not going to do well, he does well. But here's a person who I think may be the biggest addition to the team. You ready for this?
I know who you're going to say.
Kevin Ollie, assistant coach. KO!
I've already been down that road, and I'll tell you where I've gone down that road. Where I've gone down that road.
You walk me down the road?
Kevin Ollie, future head coach I mean, obviously there are still other candidates out there. Tom Moore is still out there. Steve Peichel is still out there.
Yep.
But I see Kevin Ali as a great potential head coach for this team because he brings to the table what young kids coming out of high school want. He's a guy who can communicate with them. He communicates very well with young people. Look what he did with LeBron James. Look what he did with Allen Iverson. And that was what coaches really relied on him in the NBA for.
Character guy.
Character guy, put together a 13-year NBA career, so he's got all the NBA connections, which is another thing kids coming out of high school are looking for. Somebody who has those connections that can guide them into an NBA career. Kevin Ali, he's a good-looking young guy, comes out, part of the UConn program for years. I mean, he stayed with the UConn program for all these years, and I just really see in there a potential head coach. And what makes it great is he's got to do some learning at this level. It's going to take 2 or 3 years.
Got a Hall of Famer to learn from, right?
Jim Calhoun's got 3 years left on his contract. Right now, actually, 3 years left on his contract. Kevin Ali could be the perfect step-in guy, and his presence there, needing that seasoning, could also ensure that Calhoun finishes the terms of this contract.
So you think he's the heir apparent to Jim Calhoun?
I'm not saying he's the heir apparent, but I think that he really, right now, has all the potential to be the guy. If he lives up to that potential, he would be a perfect choice.
Quick story. I was down at UConn many months back. Ali was practicing. At that time, he hadn't signed with UConn, the coach. He was just working out. I was talking with D-Rowe, the legendary guy down there.
Absolutely.
I said, Coach, this guy here could be a coach. And D-Rowe said, how about general manager in the NBA? He felt he had the kind of stature and potential to be a GM.
Well, he's got the intelligence. He certainly has the intelligence to be a GM. He knows NBA caliber talent. He has already taught NBA caliber talent. He's developed NBA caliber talent. I mean, you talk to Larry Brown about Kevin Ali, and you couldn't put him on this.
Ali like Ali. It's Ali, right?
No, it's Kevin Ali.
I call him Ali.
Okay, well...
You say Ali, I say Ali.
Tomato. But he's still, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, and he has an unlimited future in basketball, whether he wants to stay on as a college coach, and I think he'd be a perfect mix for UConn if he does, or if he wants to go back to the NBA.
Hope his eye injury heals up, right? What a freak thing happened there, right? Almost takes his eye out, dude.
Yeah, he missed the second game, the first game of the regular season, the third game, the exhibition game.
I had John Oliver on with the women. Real quick take, 15 seconds on the women. That game with Baylor, you were down there. Your thoughts on that and where they go from here?
Well, I think that was the biggest game I've seen UConn play in years, simply because, they lost Carolyn Doty, which was a huge loss. That's after the graduation of Kalena Green and Tina Charles. And now you come back, how do you match up in the middle? I was so impressed with Samari Walker. I think the development of the freshmen that we saw in that game was so huge. As Gino Auriemma said, our freshmen go to Georgia Tech as sophomores.
And we got to go home.
Okay.
All right, thanks to all our guests, Reginald Mayo, Jim Starr, John Altavilla, Scott Gray. You can send your show comments or requests or even watch us again at ctnow.com. Friend us on Facebook. Become a fan of the Stan Simpson Show. We're on Twitter, too. Look out for the tweets. Lori Perez and The Real Story are next for the good folks here at Fox, Connecticut. I'm Stan Simpson. We'll see you next week.